Interesting building construction.
This man is the best guide I've ever come across in describing reliefs.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we are in Esna, the town itself called Esna, and this name derived from the pharaonic name Aswan, which means the land of crossing. The Greeks called the city Latopolis Magna because by the time of the Greeks, the birch fish was venerated here in this town. That's why they called it the Latopolis Magna, which is the city of the fish Latos, or the birch fish.
Perch, we say.
Birch? Yeah.
Perch.
Perch. The city was flourished so much by the time of the Greeks, and the temple we see now, it's a Greek-Roman temple. So this is the first Greek-Roman temple we see in our tour. When the Greeks built here in Egypt, they had to follow the same plan of the Egyptian temples. The facade, the open courtyard, the halls of columns, the vestibules and the sanctuary. But they did some modifications with the art, with the capitals of the columns, for example. When you look at these capitals, you haven't seen capitals like that before. In Karnak temples, we have seen simple capitals like papyrus flower or papyrus flower closed or lotus, but we haven't seen that kind of flowers. Even in one hole, you can see different capitals. They are not all the same, but they are different. They used the palm, the palm branches, the grapes. They used the papyrus, the lotus. They used a lot of different flowers and trees together in every capital to make a bouquets of flowers. This temple was buried under the house, or the modern city built on top of this temple, because it's locating in a low level comparing with the level of the modern city. It's like 10 meters difference nowadays. That's why the modern city built on top of this temple. So the only part was visible from the temple, the roof of the temple. It was excavated for the first time in 1843 by Muhammad Ali. But not to use it as a tourist place, but to use it as a storehouse for gunpowders. And later it was used as a storehouse for cotton, and after that it was restored. But the only part excavated of this temple is that hall of columns. The rest is still under the houses of the modern city, and it's very much destroyed. So this is the hypostyle hall of the temple.
Hypostyle is a Greek word. It means something like that which is under a roof held by columns.
So is this the original roof in this one?
Everything's original.
Yeah.
Everything's original. Yeah. But this is Roman. It's not like any Roman
Yes,
temple you've seen
yeah.
in Pompeii or Lepsus Magna or Rome or wherever.
We see what we call the purification of the king. The king is being purified with the holy water. Norse before the unification, and she is wearing the crown of the Norse. Her name is Wadjet, and this one is Nechbet, the gods of the south before the unification. And you can see the crown of the south on her head with like feathers around it. So this is the crown of the north, this is the crown of the south, and this is a double crown of Upper and Lower Egypt.
Albert, what I find fascinating is that this is built by the Romans.
What's different here, you can see special dance done by the emperor in front of the gods.
Okay.
What is your name?
Mohammed.
Mohammed.
Yes. What's the name?
Bruce.
Welcome to Edfu.
Thank you.
Maria, welcome to Edfu.
Mohammed, turn around, take your picture. How old is Layla? How many years, Layla?
Layla? Yes, free.
Three? Ah, a baby.
Yes, baby, listen.
Started 237 BC, finished 57 BC. Albert is going to take us on a guided tour.
The Edfu temple is the best preserved Greek temple in Egypt. That temple was built by the Greeks in 180 years. It started in 237 before Christ, finished in 57 before Christ. It started by
20 years out there, in case you're doing the maths, because there was a 20-year break and there was a little revolt going on. I know. Ace takes pedantry to a new level sometimes. Thanks for so I have to. I know someone challenged me earlier, but it's actually 102.
It was started by Ptolemy III and finished by the time of Ptolemy XII. This temple was built on remains of earlier temples. So, one of the records found mentioned that by the time of the third dynasty, by the time of Amenhotep, the famous architect of King Luxor, he did some work here. He built some temples or some chapels to the falcon god Horus at Edfu. By the time of the New Kingdom, especially by the time of Thutmose III, he built a temple and dedicated that temple to the god Horus, the falcon god. And by the time of this king Thutmose III, the annual visit of Hathor to visit her husband Horus at Edfu here started. Hathor was the wife of Horus. Every temple used to have a triad, so the triad of this temple is Horus, Hathor, and Horus-Matawi, or Horus, the uniter of the two lands. Ramesses II built here at the temple, and at the area between the side wall and the pylon, if you go that way, you find remains of the buildings of the new kingdom, especially the time of the Ramesside period. That temple was dedicated to the falcon god Horus. As you see, Horus was depicted in different forms. As a falcon, as a complete falcon, like the two granite falcons by the gate of the temple, or as a man wearing a mask of a falcon, like that one on the right. This carriage was a symbol of royalty and eternity at the same time. So, we see empty cartouches here. What does it mean? We had no king at that time. Everything is done except the name of the king.
Interesting. I think it's interesting.
All rituals and prayers done except the name of the king. So what was wrong with that? These temples, all of the Egyptian temples were built from inside to outside. So this is the latest part built of the temple, and by the end of the Greek period, there were a lot of troubles between the royal families for getting the throne. Some of them ruled for a short period, a few months, or some of them killed each other to get the throne. Because of the quick succession, the workers who achieved the work here, they made everything, and they left the cartouches empty till they know who should be the real and strong king over the throne of Egypt. And because of the quick succession, and after that Egypt ruled by the Romans, there was no time to fill the cartouches in. So everything is done except the cartouche. You can notice here, these are numbers. This is 2, 2, 10, 10, 10, 22. So he's counting the different items of offerings being offered to the gods. 2 jars of wine, 2 papyrus flowers, 10 pieces of bread, and so on. He's counting here. So they depended on big variety of capitals in one place to make bouquets of flowers. This is the second hall of columns. It's smaller than the outer one, but we see an intact roof here. It's very much damaged, affected by the smoke, but we still see a part of the original representation of the sky and the stars. You can see on top here. These holes in the ceiling are those small windows intended for lighting. Sun is shining on top of the temple in the morning. These holes could make a shaft of rays. They could reflect these rays wherever they needed using a kind of silver mirrors, right? Because the doors used to be shut after the king and the priestess passed, so there was no way to get light except from these holes in the ceiling. Here, you can see the sacred boat of Horus. It's carried on the shoulders of the priests. It was not a huge boat. You see one of, or a copy of it inside. It was not a huge boat, it was a symbolic boat. It's carried on the shoulders of the priests, and the high priest is standing in the middle. On the ceiling here, you still see the representation of the sky and the stars. You can see the red and the blue. All of these reliefs showing the king offering to Horus. You see the red? See the blue this way? See the blue? See? These are the original colors. most important reliefs in this temple, which talking about the story of fighting between Horus and Set. Mr. Andrew will talk about this story after lunch. You can see here the hippopotamus, which representing Set. A change his form into a hippopotamus and sometimes a crocodile. You can see some of the crocodiles on top, which are damaged, right? And you can see Horus standing in his boat. He is harpooning.
Not smiting.
The hippo.
It's definitely harpooning.
Right?
Yeah, it is.
Something different, yeah.
Smiting's
Every
off.
time.
Smiting's
And his mother Isis
Smiting's off there.
is supporting her son Horus by controlling the hippo by a chain. As you see, you can see the chains. And the king is standing on the shore, and he is supporting the king, trying to get rid of the hippo by harpooning it.
And she's saying, there he is, get him, get the little beggar. Stab him again and again. 10 ritual stabbings, starting at the snout and working round to the hindquarters. It's all highly choreographed.
Small size of a hippo.
Yes.
Normally, the ancient Egyptians depicted their enemies in a small size, and also it's under the water. Everything under the water seems smaller than the original size. So all reliefs from the beginning of the wall until the end, talking about the fighting between Horus and Set like that. You can see Horus came back from the battle. In front of the boat of Horus, a group of ladies are celebrating his victory, triumph over Set. The leader of these ladies holding sistrums in her hands. Sistrums were a kind of musical instruments. When you shake it, it gives musical sound, gives sound. And behind her, a group of ladies holding tambourines in their hands and are celebrating the victory at their hand Horus.
Oh, they did the
they're backwards.
They did
Two left hands.
Yeah.
So they,
Produced,
so they weren't skilled craftsmen. So, I mean, there's a lot to cover here. But it's about to rush. 16 cubits, that's a cubit. 16 cubits is just right. Smaller rises of water do not irrigate all places. Larger ones delay operations by receding too slowly. In a rise of 12 cubits, it senses famine. In a rise of 13 cubits, it still feels hungry. But 14 cubits brings rejoicing, 16 security, and 18 luxury. In the Roman period, the emperors recorded exceptional floods. For example, in year 14 of Trajan Caesar, so that's round about 112 AD, 25 cubits. Remember, 18 is luxury, 25 is not. More luxury, it's danger of flooding, ruining everything. You know? Year 7 of Tiberius Caesar, so that's about 24 AD. 24 cubits, like 3 pounds. So very precise measurement. And this was recorded all up and down the river, and farmers knew roughly how much to expect, and then they could calculate how much do I owe the inspectors. So thank you, Albert. He's an expert on reliefs.
Puddle. Oh, do you need a light?
That's as far as we can
No,
go.
we have a light.
Do you need a light?
I've got one.
I have one too.
Yeah, from here on.
That's incredible water.
There's water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there is. You see it back
So
there?
they know if it rises up here.
Yeah,
Yes. And it's sloping.
That's
So,
going down.
so that's it's measured in
I mean,
the
I
cubic.
go back so
what's
you
it?
can come forward.
That's what they were.
Yeah.
We saw the other group.
Oh my God! Look at it.
Wow.
Wow.
Goodness.
Well, it's there's a light on it, of course, down there.
Well, it's open.
It's open to, yeah.
Oh, that's extraordinary.
I think we'll go a little further. Oh no.
No, you don't have to.
don't.
You don't have to.
It's right there.
Right there. Let me show you. Let me get out of the way. Everybody can go and look. It's amazing.
Wow. Yuck. Ooh, that's all dirty. Not drinking.
shows.